Alright, welcome back to Cole's Farm, everybody. It's week 28 for hive number 1. It's October 20th, around 1:30 in the afternoon. The temperature is 76 degrees and it feels like it, and 40% humidity. The pollen is a 3.2 out of 10 according to the WeatherBug app, which puts it in the low to medium range. The main sources of pollen are ragweed and grasses. For our area here, the goldenrod has definitely stopped blooming, and the plan for today is to take a quick look at hive number 1. I have about 3 pounds of sugar water for them, the 2-to-1 ratio. I have a full 5.5 pounds for hive number 2 and 3. For hive number 1, it's been a few weeks since I gave them any syrup, and the reason behind that is I fed them back to back 22 pounds collectively, and they seem to have stored that nicely. And the last time I was in this hive was about, I think, October 5th, about 15 days ago, and it looked like the colony has moved up to the top chamber. So I already took the straps off. We're going to pop the top, have a quick look inside, and see what we find. Frame number 2, although somewhat newly developed, they have some nice stored nectar, and they've become, they started capping some of the honey. And same thing on this side, nice stored nectar and some's capped. So I'm going to feed them today anyway, just so they can kind of keep on building and storing and capping the nectar and turning it into honey. Frame number 3, the side that faces the outside of the hive. Some capped honey, as you can see, a lot of stored nectar, and then on the inside they've actually started building this out nicely and capping it as they go. So this hive has become pretty strong over the last 6 months. I'd be really surprised if this one doesn't survive the winter, knock on wood, but so far, 3 frames into the top chamber, the signs are pretty good that they're preparing for the winter. Frame 3, some nice capped honey around the outside, some brood, cap brood. I don't see any eggs. It's hard to tell on that one. Keep looking, of course. This is frame 5, the side that faces the right side of the frame. Directly to the right of the cap brood section, it's very hard to see, and actually had to move the frame around to where the sun hits it just right. But there are newly laid eggs in there. They're standing straight up, so the queen's been here within the past day. It's a odd looking cell there, possibly beginning stages of a queen cup. I have no doubt the queen is here. She's pretty hard to find, but you know, the eggs are there, so obviously things are still looking good. I'm gonna proceed, you know, inspecting the rest of the frames, just look for anything out of the ordinary, and to see how their honey stores are looking. Check this out. This will probably be the main picture of the video. That is a nice fall brood frame. Here, let's get that shot too. Yeah, that's a nice one. Queen is definitely working. So this is frame, let's see, 4, 5, frame 6, and then the other side, of course. This is frame 8. It is honestly probably 10 pounds. Nice capped honey at the top. Bottom, a lot of stored nectar and pollen. Kind of hard to flip, but look at that. That is nice. They're building that out nicely, capping it as they go. This hive's looking pretty good for winter, I think. And frame 9 and 10 are pretty light. They're storing some nectar and capping a little and building some new comb, but that's kind of expected on the very outside frames. All right, box number 1 looked great. A lot of stored honey. Good looking brood, especially in the middle. We'll take a look into box number 1 and see how things look. That box honestly probably weighs north of 50 pounds, 50 to 65 pounds maybe. Usually not much to talk about on frame one. Beetle trap kind of doing its thing, maybe a few things in there. The inside, they're finally drawing out that comb nicely, so that's good news. This is frame 6 of box 1. Not too much going on, which is why I haven't showed or shown too many frames to the camera. These frames are very light. This has some, you know, obviously you can see it has some brood, but it definitely looks like the queen has started, well, has moved up into the top chamber. One, clearly there was laid eggs on one of the frames. I always look for eggs around the cap brood, and sometimes it's really hard to tell. I can't see any on this. few queen cups that are kind of suspect. I kind of just tear them down. For instance, that one on the left, there's no royal jelly in it, but I'll smash it down just to prevent anything. Alright, I'll conclude it right there. We're just shy of 30 minutes. Overall, things went pretty well. I'm really happy to see how the top box looks. They had a lot of stored nectar and capped honey. Wasn't able to find the queen, but with this hive, that's nothing out of the ordinary. A few nice frames of brood. That one frame was, you know, incredible looking. And then that other frame that had a lot of capped honey was great to see. It's nice to feel a few frames that are heavy with capped honey, especially being mid-October, well, late October now, and rolling into November and the winter. But then again, you know, for today being the 20th, 75 degrees and beautiful, you know, we might have a pretty mild winter. So either way, I'm just gonna kind of casually feed them as necessary, and I'll keep everybody posted every 2 weeks for you know, the next inspection. But overall, this hive looks pretty good. Off camera, I'm just gonna feed hive 2 and 3, and just take a quick look, see how they feel, lift them up just to see if they got any nice weight to them. But thanks for watching, and in about 2 weeks we'll have week 30, I believe, week 30's inspection. So thanks for watching. Cole's Farm from Jacksonville, North Carolina. If you have any feedback, comments, if you see me doing anything weird or have some suggestions or tips, just post them in the comments, and you know, everything's appreciated. Thanks.